I want to welcome you on board. Good afternoon. It is just after 1 here in the United Kingdom. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Morris Johnson. Good afternoon. Nice to see you as well. Zainab. Good afternoon. Pepper. Good afternoon. Farori JP Bola. Good afternoon. Names that I cannot say because of the time frame and time factor. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi there. Good afternoon. You see, so many times, when I give advice, I am giving advice from the deep down of my heart. I am giving advice as it comes from the legislator, from legislators, from parliament, from statutory, from white paper. When I give advice, my advice is as good as it is written from the Supreme, from Parliament, from everywhere it is written, from those who sat and put it together, who drafted, who put it together. That is the way my advice comes, that is the way I give advice. I give it in accordance with what they put together from the superior, from the above. You see, unless my clients and my fans start to believe in my English, that is to say, you believe in my advice, there will continue to be some headache in times of staying in the UK. In time of remaining in the UK, there will continue to be some problems. Now, the reason why I came out this afternoon, I do not necessarily want to be out today again because I have work to do. And given the fact that I am starting work at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, I don't start work until 2 on Wednesdays. So I use the morning time to do other things. So afternoon is when I start work on Wednesday, unless I go to court. But the point here is that, good afternoon, Kuponi, good afternoon, Abby, good afternoon. It is important at this particular stage now that we start to believe in each other, we start to understand each other, we start to know where the advice is coming from and where it's heading to. Because I won't necessarily come and sit here and waste my time if the advice is not authentic. I stand corrected. Now, let's go straight to the point without wasting your time or my time because of the limited time we have this afternoon. The point here is that if you have a partner that is present and settled in the UK, has British passport or indefinite leave to remain, and you haven't got child, and there is no child in that relationship, both of you possibly struggling on the medical ground to have kids. Both of you have passed the age of bearing children, and you're still in love with each other, and you really love each other. The advice forward, the way forward is that there is no way the Secretary of State will grant that status if you don't have underage child and one of you has already run out of status in the UK. That status will not be granted. 2 people are in relationship. Let's get this formative right now. It's a scenario. 2 people are in relationship. One has probably have a British passport or indefinite leave to remain. I'm not talking about the European passport. I'm talking about indefinite leave to remain and British passport. And the other one hasn't got anything. She's an overstayer or is an overstayer. And they haven't got child that is under the age of 18, either from both of them or through each of them previous relationship living in the United Kingdom that they are responsible for. Let's go back again. If there are 2 people in relationship, one have a British passport or settlement status, and the other one hasn't got anything, there is nothing preventing you from falling in love. That is your right, your entitlement. But what is preventing you to remain together in the United Kingdom is the immigration rules. There is nothing under this sun preventing you from being in love with each other, but there is something preventing you to remain, to continue your love in the UK, because there will be no status granted to the other person unless you have a child, either from both of you or from either of you past relationship. But that child in question must be in the UK. The child must be in the UK, and the child, one of you, and you must have responsibility over that child. So it's not just being in the UK, and it must be under 18. If the child is not under 18-year-old, the application is a waste of time. That application would be a waste of time. And I have been hammering it, I've been saying it. There is no other loophole other than you, either you go to Europe to go and do Surinder Singh, both of you take risk. Get out of the United Kingdom where you don't have to fulfill the requirement of having child by the time you are coming back in. Go and do Surinder Singh outside Europe. I have said it. If you cannot do Surinder Singh because the other person has a very good job in the UK and earn over £18,600, go back to Nigeria, go and make an entry clearance visa. Entry clearance visa is spouse. Go back to Nigeria and go and do entry clearance. Entry clearance will allow you to come in freely without the headache of having kids. What you just have to fulfill is the means of income tested. Once you met the requirement of 18,600, you are fine, you are okay, you don't have any problem. But if both of you insist that you want to remain in the United Kingdom and expect the status to be granted where there is no child between two of you and one of you has already overstayed his or her status, you'll be wasting time. And the time that you don't want to leave to go to Nigeria to go and get the redress done, it might end you up in a detention center. Because in between while you are saying that you want to be signing on and comply, you're already a bad person by overstaying your status. You're already a bad person by overstaying your status. So you're already in breach. So if you're not saying that you want to continue to comply, to go and continue to report, what are you reporting on? And who are you reporting to? You have already overstayed your status. Bear that in mind. So you should bear it in mind that anything can happen in between of you going there to report, to sign on. So the point I'm trying to raise on the spouse visa today is that get out of the United Kingdom, go and make the application from entry clearance. Get out and go and do the application from outside. Because if you don't go out to go and do the application from outside, you're not going to get anything from it here. And it's now becoming an headache. An headache that is not going to go. An headache that is not going to leave you. And like I said in the beginning, there is nothing preventing two people being in love. Nothing under this planet, under this sun. But there is something, which is the immigration law. And that is the area you need to start it from. There is something preventing you. And the only way forward is to either travel to Europe, go and do Surinder Singh for 6 months and return back to UK, where you'll be granted your status under 5 years residence card before we exit Brexit. Before we exit Brexit. You need to start thinking ahead now. So if two of you are here now, either you have passed the age of bearing child or you are struggling on a medical ground to get it done. My advice, get out of United Kingdom now. Either you go back to Nigeria, Ghana, where you come from, go and sort things out there, get the entry clearance to return back. Or you return, you go to Europe, where you have to start work there, the person with the British passport. So that is only good for somebody carrying British passport. It's not good for someone carrying indefinite leave to remain, because you're only a UK resident, you're not a UK citizen. So you won't be able to do that. But you'll be able to return to Nigeria, for example, with your wife or your husband, and go and get the application done, entry clearance. But you must have a marriage certificate. Again, lately, I realized that a lot of people are coming under emblem of saying that somebody represent them at the wedding ceremony. It's a proxy. And it's not acceptable under the UK law. Proxy is not acceptable. The marriage must be conducted between two parties that are in that relationship. The moment your brother or your sister is representing you, believe me, it is your brother that is marrying that girl. Or your sister that is marrying that guy. It is not you. Marriage, it's for two people that are in that relationship, and they have to be present during the course of exchanging signature in the presence of the family. So the moment both of you are not there, or either of you are not there, it is not marriage, it is proxy. And it's not acceptable under the United Kingdom jurisdiction. So you need to get that right now. Because there are so many people carrying all these things around now, saying that they have a marriage, their sister represent them, their brother represent them. It's not going anywhere. Leave that aside. The problem now is that the issue on the spouse visa is that it will be nice to return back home and go and get it done properly. If you go to Europe to exchange, to do it, the first 1 month of your work, and you submit the document to the embassy, to the home office of that country, of the European country you are, yeah, they are going to grant your partner a residence card. But you must remain there for another 5 months. After 1 month, remain there for another 5 months, so that the partner, both of you, can travel in at the end of the 6th month into United Kingdom, where you will now apply for a residence card in the UK for her or him. Without that, it will be so impossible to get it across. It will be so impossible to get it done. So you got to know exactly what you need. Now, the situation we are at the moment is that home office is becoming difficult when it comes to removal action. Home office is becoming impossible to predict when it comes to removal action. And this is why I have been saying it categorically, loudly, quietly, bigly, that you got to have paper in before you continue to report to the home office. I stand corrected. You see, if you're caught without having documents inside, it is bad. It is as bad as if something bad happened to you in life. Now, a lot of people will turn around and be telling me that they want to comply. What are you complying on? You are already in breach by overstaying the reason for coming into United Kingdom. You're already in breach. So what makes you think that you want to comply when you have overstayed your visa that they gave you to come to UK? Either as a student or as a pastor, minister of religion, or as a visitor, you are already a bad person. Let's get that right. And when you're already a bad person, of what use again that you want to start impressing them when you don't have status inside? You will travel to Europe, you take risk. You will travel, you will return back. You will leave UK and return with your husband that have a British passport, or your wife that have British passport, as long as both of you are in a genuine and subsisting relationship. If you're not in a genuine relationship and you just clandestinely or psychedelic, I will use that English, travel with him or her, he will dump you and return back without you. So you got to really think. You have to weigh the consequence. Know the difference between genuine relationship and not genuine. Because if you don't understand the genuine part of it and you just travel carelessly, you don't know what is in his or her heart deep down, especially him sometimes. You don't know what he has against you. So he can just dump you in Nigeria and come back. There are some situations that the guy took the lady to Nigeria, saying that they are going on holiday. Bear it in mind, the lady has a spouse visa already. But when they get to Nigeria, he collected the passport and everything and kept it. Would you believe that he returned back to England with the passport of that lady? As at today, they have not even feed me back and let me know what is happening in that aspect. So you got to really understand the type of relationship you are before you do that. You've got to really, really, really understand the type of relationship you are. Because if the relationship you are is not clear, believe me, it could cost you. I'm on 07908 628240. I'm on 07908 628240. Yeah. So the current situation we are having now is that the guy went to go and sign on yesterday. He went to go and report. Thank you, Ida. Thank you. Me or mama. I didn't know. There was no intention, but it has to be said. Somebody needs to be honest in life, at least for once. Somebody needs to tell the truth. Somebody needs to guide some people. There's always a captain of a ship. There has to be a captain in the ship. Everybody cannot sit down without a captain. Even the aircraft, there has to be a captain. And captain will be in charge. So I'm in charge of this one. So I didn't intentionally, but I have to drop it. You know, so the point is that he went to go and sign on yesterday. You understand? And unfortunately, the bad guys took him and they detained him. Oh yes, they detained him. Now, detained him from about 11, 12 o'clock yesterday. They have not released him as we speak. So it basically means that he's going to cost me and stress me and stretch me to get the release done. Understand? But sometimes when you want to tell people, you see, sometimes in life, gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ ni ẹ̀sìn lè ṣe. Ẹ má máa sọ pé tó pé ẹ jẹ́ Christian ẹ fẹ́ ṣọmọ dáadáa ẹ lọ church. Spare me the talk of your church. Do you understand? Spare me your church. Spare me that kind of nonsense talk. Torí gbogbo yẹn kàn máa ń pa ẹni Christian ẹ àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ máa ṣe máa ń bad deep down. Ẹ máa parọ́ ẹ máa fi Christianity ẹ máa fi cover ojú pé onígbàgbọ́ lèmi mi fẹ́ parọ́. You are already a liar. One way or another, you have already lied. You understand? So why are you now saying that you don't want to lie? Today I ṣe fẹ́ lọ máa bu ọwọ́ lówe. Sọ fún mi nígbà tí mi ò gbọ́. Ọ̀rọ̀ ti di ọ̀rọ̀ ara wa. Let's say the truth. Let's hit the nail on the head. Do you understand? Uchi, yeah, hold on. You have already done it wrongly. Mo láwọn boys kan mo dé like bọ́n ṣe ń behave. Wọ́n máa wá sọ fún mi ni pé màmá mi ò lọ. Mi ò dé lọ nìyẹn. Gbogbo kọ́kọ́ ni o. But sometimes you use wisdom, common sense. You see me, you like your dance at the same time you like your smart to do real. You got to be clever and be in the middle. And what Bíbá yìí, what they are trying to do is to try to cut the numbers of people in the country down, illegal immigrants. Because of a and that's what they have been trying to do. And as a result of that, they are wrongly moving people. You understand? So it's something that you have to be very careful with. I'm still coming. Hello, please speak on.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning to you, dear.
Yeah, I've got a question. I
Okay.
want to ask you.
Please go ahead.
A lady that helped someone to bring a 12-year-old daughter to this country, and she's been using the daughter's name to get child benefit.
You see, you've got to really understand that this is a public arena. You see, there are some questions that you have to privately call to ask. Otherwise, you are going to shoot yourself at the back. Yes. Yeah. So yes, hello. You got to really be careful when you are asking questions that is so sensitive. Yeah. When you are asking questions that are sensitive, you got to really be careful. Because the whole world is here listening. So perhaps you may want to change your question or rephrase it properly. Like I said yesterday, I have already said it in my speech yesterday. It is so wrong to say that somebody wants to be collecting child benefit for other person's child. If the child is not yours and the child is not a UK citizen, it's not entitled to child benefit. It's as simple as that. You know, it's as simple as that. If the child is not yours and the child is not a UK citizen and is not living under your household and you don't have parental responsibility or legal guardianship order, you will not be able to do that. It's fraud. So if I know exactly where you are heading to, I think I'll be very right to cut it in that manner. Understand?
The girl now will be 18 in December, and the woman that wanted to love now said she can't do it anymore. So my question is, can we come now if we can do it?
Do what?
To apply for the girl before she's 18.
How long has she been in the UK for? How long has she been here for?
She's been here since 12 years old.
12 years old is only 5 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
So she hasn't got any 7-year rules in her bag. It hasn't got 7 years. This is what I said yesterday, that parents should stop dumping their kids into the UK, bringing kids and come and dump them as if it's a dumping ground. It doesn't make sense to anybody anymore. That's what I said yesterday in my program. Because now that child, now, so I'm sure 100% in my heart that the parent dump her. and the child is only 5 years, and the child will be 18, and now when she's 18, she will not be able to go to university because
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, she's not going to be able to go to university and then become another person's child on the street and start joining gangs and start roaming about and doing all sorts of nonsense on the street because she's been deprived of the education that she's supposed to have access to, basic. But she's not a UK citizen, so she's not deprived by us. She's deprived by our parents.
Yeah, but the woman said she wanted to help her, but she just said that
You can't use that word, madam. You can't use that word. There is legal tools there. Use the necessary kit of law. The kit is there to use the tools. Use the law. Go through the legal realm. Adopt the child if need be. Adopt the child. Go through the legal documents and then get the paper. If you adopt the child as if the child were your own, you will be able to get passport for that child without the child being on the street and roaming about doing nothing. You see, Nigerian as a whole, Nigerian in particular, you're getting me upset in the name of all these things, and it doesn't make sense to anybody anymore. Let me tell you, people who know me the way I speak when I go on seminars, 2 things I advise my people against. I advise people against welfare benefits. I don't like people sitting on welfare benefits when you have 2 eyes, both arms and both legs to go and work. It's laziness. It is completely laziness, and I don't agree with it. Again, I advise people against bringing children in and dumping them and returning back to Nigeria. What would you say you are doing in Nigeria when you dump kids here? For who? Lately, father came here and come and report a sister who maltreats his daughter for him. You dumped the child, you left back and go and do babaka in Nigeria, and this child is going through hell in London here under stupid auntie. Of what use? What kind of favor is that? 2 things I advise against: welfare benefit and child slavery. Don't come and dump kids in England anymore. It's not a dumping ground. Go through the normal formalities. Go and do the adoption process. If you really have interest in having child under your household, if the interest is at heart and from your heart, yeah, and it's not for the sake of you collecting the child benefit, then go through the proper legal document. Use the tools, use the mechanism that the law puts there for you to utilize. And that's the only way to get things done properly in a neat way. Why can't we practice what is said in the United Kingdom? Why can't we follow the rules and the regulations? Why must we continue to do as if we are in Agboile Ikire, in Imushi, in Akowonjo, in Onepanu Leko? The law in Nigeria is different from the law in United Kingdom. Let's get it right. It's not like the one they are doing yesterday and putting DSS out there and covering their face in a democratic nation and being so stupid and naive and not follow the proper tools of law. In a democratic society, must a country behave in the way Nigeria behaved yesterday? Absolutely disgusting. And that's exactly what the citizens of Nigeria are doing in the UK again. They fail to understand the mechanism. They fail to follow the procedure. When you are in England, you behave English. I said it yesterday, and I'm not going to harbor anybody anymore on it. If it's only 1 people that want to listen to my talk, let them listen on the truth of it. Let's do it properly. Enough of this nonsense. They will bring kids into UK, start maltreating them. You bring them into United Kingdom, you treat them as if they are nobody. I hate people who maltreat children. Even if I don't say hello to the mother, when I see the children, I will say hello to the children because I love kids. And I don't support anybody maltreating children. It's totally out of it because they are innocent to this world. Go and look at Section 55 of the Border Citizenship Act and go and read Lady Hale English. Lady Hale in her judgment says children are not to be responsible for their parents being overstayed in the UK. You understand? Lady Hale said it. She's one of the Supreme Court judge. She said it categorically that children are not to be responsible for their parents' atrocity of being overstaying in the United Kingdom. And I concur. What is not better is not better. Let's start getting things right. The community needs a standard to set. You see what happened in Lagos yesterday where they are putting a DSS or whatever it's called outside their House of Assembly, saying that somebody asked them to go and put them there, covering their face and being like a kidnappers or a killer or whatever they want to call themselves in a democratic society. In a democratic society, You see, enough of this jargon attitude. We should stop it. Don't take anybody's children for them. If they want to give their children better education, they should come to UK and register on the private school and pay the school fees there. If you think you don't want to leave your children in Nigeria because Nigerian society or Nigerian education is falling apart, then bring them to private school here. But there are private schools in Nigeria as well, where children go to boarding school and do properly there. I saw them. I witnessed it. Don't bring children and come and dump them in the UK. There is nothing happening automatic here. Everybody have to work harder to get where they are, to go to where they are going, or to reach their destination. So we need to start getting things right. I think enough of this nonsense. People will say black people with black mind. Is it true? We make £1, we make noise on about 1 million unnecessary things that doesn't make worth it. And then the kids that we're supposed to give better education to, we fail them so many times. What for? What for? I'm still coming back. Hello? Yeah, good afternoon.
Quickly, John, I want to ask you a question, but before I ask my question, I want to pray a prayer for you.
Thank you, sir.
God, as you are helping others, as you are watering others' life, so shall you and your generation be watered in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
John, Emma water when you're wow. One way or the other.
What's it?
I want you to know that I want to have faith, with this program. I don't know how much this program has been able to help a lot of people with the right information, most especially because even the balance on $50, £50, £70 our lawyer, they don't say the truth. But most times, the programming, we are well informed, we know the right thing to do. Even the lawyer, you will tell me it is software. We will checkmate it with what you are saying. Your question to Professor Idre is that in some traditional marriage, sometimes maybe traditional marriage can also be used as a means of getting partners, residents, whatever. Is there a difference between the traditional marriage?
It's not, because traditional marriage is only engagement, so it cannot be used in case where there is a problem between two of you in the end. You see, if you use traditional marriage, you will use 2 years of living together to assist it. Yeah. Yes. But if you use traditional marriage only with 2 years of 2 years of living together and no marriage certificate, if there is a problem between two of you, you will not be able to have a retained right of residence if it's European marriage.
But we can use the traditional marriage and the 2 years
of living together.
Of marriage.
Yes.
Then another one, someone can travel out of the country, maybe any other European country, stay there for 6 months. My question is, traveling out of this country and going to the overstay, can it mean to maybe prove that you see another country or
No, it's fine. European regulations under the EU law, it doesn't say that you must have a visa to enter into the country, so don't worry about that.
In the airport or through the road?
Any, doesn't matter. Once the person is able to get out of the country, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you there. So back to the talk again. Back to the hard talk again. I purposely came out to come and address the issue of spouse visa. But the question that the lady raised now, and it's similar to what I discussed yesterday, it's actually, pumped my heart, and I don't agree with you guys. And I want people to start thinking from that angle. That is why we have a lot of headache with child slavery or Omo-Odo. And Home Office is interested in the issue of Omo-Odo now because it's real. The issue of Omo-Odo is real. When they will have that child in the house and they will not let her go out. In fact, sometimes occasion, it is the lady's husband that will be sleeping with the girl. And that is totally nonsense. That's totally nonsense. Hello? Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma.
Thank you.
Mommy and your mom, I really appreciate seeing relate more because it actually happened to me. about somebody going to sign, not detain any. So I just want to say that what you're saying is the truth, and the truth is bitter. Although téèyàn bá gbọ́, is hard to follow and it's hard to go by it. But I think téèyàn bá go through, téèyàn bá listen, téèyàn bá ṣe, I think it's the best. Because wọ́n máa sọ fún mi pé mo máa padà wọ̀lú, imagine I was detained for 7 weeks láti August last year. I just went to sign. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní mi ò lè lọ́lé mọ́. Mi ò believe ẹ̀ pé lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi. I was in Yaswood. I went for bail hearing. Wọ́n refused me. The day I was supposed to be deported, 25th of September last year, mi mo bọ́lọ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́. Mo dé airport, mo replay. Mi mo bọ́lọ̀ ń ṣiṣẹ́. But my question is, I went back to Nigeria. I stayed in Nigeria. I did my application again and everything. Even I told my husband, it's because my husband is not on Facebook. Because I wanted him to come to you. But because he's not on Facebook, he doesn't know anybody. So the person that said, okay, don't worry, don't go to Lawyer Tokunbo, go to another person. Another person, that's all also doing yet to power. We should go when mo wà ní detention, mo be lọ́jọ́ tó fẹ́ report me go be phone. I really suffered. But at the end, mo suffer. But at the end of
because only those who hate the truth will not like to come to me, because some of people are so told they hate the truth, but I don't care. Yeah, mo wà níbí.
Because ọkọ mi ò sí lórí Facebook, pé kẹ́ni yẹn fún yín, kẹ́ni yẹn fún ọkọ mi ní nọ́mbà yín, so that ẹni ọkọ mi á pè yín, torí mo mọ̀ pé Woolwich ní ọ́fíìsì yín wà.
Ó lè ṣe lára, ó lè ṣe lára.
Wọ́n máa ti gba fóònù, wọ́n máa ti detain èèyàn, wọ́n máa gba fóònù. So ìgbà tó ṣáà release mi mo ṣáà pààkì ẹrù mi, mo ní I've had enough.
Exactly.
Àti 2014 ni mo ti wà lẹ́nu, àwọn èèyàn ní má lọ lé o, má ṣe kinní kan o.
Ṣé ẹ ti wọlé padà ní ìsìn?
Mo ti wọlé padà.
On a spouse visa.
Lórí spouse visa.
Thank you, my dear.
So nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ jà láti sọ pé gbogbo àwọn tó bá wà lórí line yín tó bá létí kan pé what you are saying is the truth, and that is the only way tí èèyàn lè fi overcome. Téèyàn bá continue láti máa dúró sí bíbá, ó kàn máa yí lójú kan náà bí aago ni. Kò ní move forward, kò ní fail, kò ní pass. Ojú kan ló máa dúró. Although it is hard, ṣùgbọ́n téèyàn bá rí èèyàn tó bá dúró téèyàn. Because èmi ṣe wedding ní Church of England. So wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ń sọ ìyẹn, ó dàbí pé ọ̀rọ̀ mi lè ń sọ. Pé ọkàn lọ sign, wọ́n dìde ẹ̀ ṣe gbogbo ara bí ń gùn bí ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn.
Ó ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá ni now, truth ni now.
Ìṣẹ́ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
Mo dẹ̀ pariwo láti bẹ̀rẹ̀, mo ní ẹ lọ gbàwé, ẹ lọlé láti 2 years ago, wọ́n á ti padà wọlé báyìí.
Tó bá di 16th of August ló máa pé 1 year tán detain, August tá wà nínú ẹ̀ ló máa pé 1 year tán detain. But nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ question tí mo wá fẹ́ béèrè mà ní wípé ẹjọ́ mẹ́ẹ̀ má bínú pé irú bọ́n ṣe fún mi ní 2.5 nísìn tí wọ́n ní no recourse to public fund. So nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ béèrè ni pé ṣé bó ṣe máa wà nìyẹn for life àbí tí èèyàn bá gba red passport ó máa change because èèyàn máa sọ pé
once you get red passport it will change, but for now because you have a husband working and it's on British passport you cannot change it.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, but ẹ bá ti gba red passport gbogbo ẹ ti die down.
Okay.
In fact ẹ bá ti gba ILR,
Okay.
the moment you obtain your indefinite leave to remain, you are a free person.
Okay, ma. Ẹ ṣé, ma.
So you've only got one more to
God
go.
bless you, ma.
Amen.
Okay, ma, for telling the people the truth, which is important when you need. Thank you so much.
It is well with you. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Bye. You see, if you ask people not to come to Lawyer Tokunbo because I am telling the truth, the truth is bitter. Now you sabi, because at the end of the day, you will still come back to do what I asked you to do. Even though if you don't come through me, you will still do it. Because you are hearing the point and the advice from the horse's mouth, and I stand corrected. That is exactly what the Home Secretary wanted. To make life easier for people. You see, we are part of the lawmakers. We know the loophole. If the loophole will benefit you, I will tell you to use the loophole. If the loophole will not benefit you, I will tell you, go and ask those who know me very well. You see, the party we had on Saturday, 80% of those who are there are people that I have used my hands to release from Home Office headache. It's 80% of people that were there are people that I have obtained status for. in the United Kingdom, and I didn't even invite anybody. It's only 150 people. If I invited people at large, the way I've worked in this country, 3,000 will not fit in there. The truth must be told. 80% of people at the party on Saturday, they were people that I have worked for, and I have taken them out of headache. I have relaxed them, either in the UK or from Nigeria, from elsewhere. I told them, listen to the advice and follow it smoothly. And it worked. It worked. Yeah. It's because Nigerians love shortcuts, exactly. Hello?
Hello,
Good afternoon, dear.
God bless you for your hard work now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I really appreciate the topic.
Thank you.
My question is, I just wanted to find out, can somebody that is into national, can that person access the tribe that is based on here?
Can what?
The tribe is born here, but the person is national.
So what's the question?
Yeah, that's my question is, can that person be able to access the tribe that is born here? Like the tribe is born into another family, or it just wants to access it?
But what about the biological parents? What happened to them? Because it's in England, so you have to go through the social services.
Okay. The good parents are not together.
That doesn't mean that the child must suffer, isn't it? If both parents are not together, that doesn't mean that one of them could not be responsible for the upbringing of the child.
Yeah, one of them is responsible, one of them goes out.
So why giving up the child to third party? That's the question they will ask you now. You see, when I'm asking questions, I'm asking as if they are the one asking you. Those are the questions they will ask. And if you don't have an answer for me, you won't have an answer for them. Why giving the child up for third party to look after? Would it be because they want to use that child to obtain paper or what? If they want to use the child to obtain paper, they have to go through the parental responsibility order, PRA. But the person that wants to have that child, of what is the connection? Yeah. There must be a connection. Amen.
No, because they are trying to have the child,
so they have to go through the proper formalities. To give the child up for adoption, it means that the parents are giving the child up. It's not that they will give the child up for a year or two and later on go back to the place where the child is now enjoying and having family life, and later on say they want to have the child back because they have settled their differences. Isn't it?
No, I was saying I don't think that, because the plan was we wanted to go for the IVF, we take the IVF for people doing work out for them, because
Does both parents have papers? Both people that want to do the IVF, do they have papers?
yes, both of them have.
And then that child, they should go through normal formalities to adopt that child in a legitimate way. Yeah.
Should I send them to your office now?
I don't deal with it. They should deal with the social services directly.
Okay.
Yes, social services family department will deal with it. They will give them the requirements to go through.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, dear. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, Kenny Adewole, thank you so much for the prayer. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You see, that is the truth of it has to be spoken. You know, the truth of it, we have to say it. But I haven't got much time to hang around because it's afternoon appointment. So in the next 5-10 minutes, I'll be leaving. You know, I'll be leaving in the next 5-10 minutes. Hello? I'm on a live program. Who is this? Paddy? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You see, that's the problem. If you use WhatsApp, normal call will be cutting you off. Hello?
Hello, Eka Soma.
Carson, yes, hi.
Yes, ma. ẹ ṣe ọlọ́mọràn iná wọ ẹ kó ṣe dáadáa tẹ́ ṣe fún gbogbo ọlọ́mọ àgbàdo àìmọ́ àwọn.
àmì o àmì ẹlẹ́dàá.
Ẹjọ́ máa ń fẹ́ bèèrè nípa ọ̀rọ̀ iṣu ni ta ló jẹ́ pé wọ́n lọ sí outside tó yẹ pé ìyàwó jẹ́ British so wọ́n á lọ sí bíi Dublin tó bá gbàwé bẹ́ẹ̀ after March next year wọ́n fẹ́ kó inú Brexit ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì lè padà wá máa lẹ́yìn má ṣe yẹn.
And they will have to come in on a indefinite leave to remain, so they have to obtain visa to come in. But they've not finalized it. But after 2020, we are still into 2020 December, not March next year. So don't raise panic. The white paper is clearly stated at 2020 December.
Okay, so after March next year, but I'll go out of shame in British now.
Well, I don't know. So you have to wait for the next update. But anybody that wants to go, if I were in your shoes, I would be making my way down now to go and get it done and come back for Solida Singh.
Okay, I'm already in Dublin, but I've not got my business. That's what I'm just asking. I'm working towards my March or something like that.
But when you are coming back, you have to come back with your British person.
Yeah, we are coming back home together.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
that's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Oh, hi. I'm just wanting to ask about is that on live Facebook?
It is a live program, yes. It is.
Yeah. I just want to ask about I'm having indefinite in UK.
You are where?
I'm having indefinite in UK.
You have
indefinite visa. Yeah.
You have ILR, indefinite leave to remain.
Yeah, in the UK.
In the UK, yeah.
That, I have my son who's about 14 years old in back home, and the mom lives back home as well.
So
is
what?
That possible?
Are you living in the UK?
Yeah, I live in UK. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
But is it possible to bring my son over to come and live with mother?
Yeah, of course. How old is your son?
He's only 14 now, but he lives with my parents most of the time. I've spent with my parents.
And why couldn't the arrangement continue?
Pardon?
Why couldn't you continue with the arrangement of him staying with your parents?
Yeah, that's what I'm in process to make sure, because I wanted to make sure before I go bring him, like, I want to bring him over in Denver. So that's why I wanted to arrange him.
That is the question they will ask you. That's why I'm asking you. Why couldn't the arrangement continue with the parents? So you need to be thinking. You need to be.
He's having like the same kids from the partner was with him, so that's why.
Your line is not clear, but you need to be thinking in your mind. If that question is raised, you need to be thinking how to respond to them. The reason why you want to bring the child to UK, you have to know the reason why, not because of any other thing. Because the parents are with the child is with your parents and probably be in a stable place and in a safe environment.
Okay. No, my parents, my dad who was looking after my son, he's had a stroke. He can't supply anymore because he was the only person who was working. So that's why they're moving to the village now.
Oh.
So that's what. So they're not in the city anymore. So he got no one to live with.
Now you can get your child with you in the UK, but you must satisfy the criteria. It's not just bringing for the sake of bringing. You must go through the formalities. But you can get your child with you in the UK if the arrangement is no longer available. So you need to have the medical evidence to corroborate that your father had stroke and he cannot continue with work anymore to provide for the needs of the family. They have moved from city to village, and and your son will not be able to continue his education in the village.
So that's why
Again, another question that will come to you is, where is the mother of that child?
It's back in Namibia.
You have to think about what to say in that aspect. I'm afraid I have to go now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then.
I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, I have to go now. The work began, so I've got to.
Is that possible if I can give you a call later or something?
I won't answer question later on. I've got to attend to people on ground.
Okay. All right. I'll see you.
What you can do is to call my office, book appointment, and come and see me on consultation. But other than that, I won't be available to answer any question after this.
Okay, then thank you, yeah?
Thank you, dear. Bye. So that is the situation as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to go now. But what the advice I gave today is that If you are in a relationship with someone that has British passport and you have run out of status and you haven't got kids from either previous relationship or current situation, child in the UK, then you should be thinking of going out of the country to go and make an application for entry clearance. That was the advice. 2 ways of doing your entry clearance. Either if it's a British passport person, you can do the Surinder Singh in any of the European country, or go and make ECO spouse visa from Nigeria, Ghana, elsewhere, entry clearance. If you're having indefinite leave to remain and your partner hasn't got anything, it's the same thing, but you cannot exercise treaty right in Europe because you haven't got British passport. So you can only go back to Nigeria and make an application to bring him or her into the country. But the financial threshold income will be applicable. The child issue is not compulsory anymore. They're not going to look at that. What the government will be focusing on is the fact that you have to earn 18,600 when it comes to entry clearance application. So that's what you should be looking at. But other than that, the rest is simple and straightforward. My name has not changed to Tokunbo Olagbaye. I want to appreciate all of you for coming on board. I have to go now to start the afternoon work. I cannot love you guys less. Love you so much. Call my office on 0208 309 8808 0208 309 8808 and book appointment to see me. Remember, with a plain heart, you can do anything in Christ. With a plain heart, you can do anything with people. You can enjoy life. If your heart is clean, no fashion weapon formed against you can prosper, providing your heart is clean as well. You must have a clean heart. So when you are saying things, you'll be saying it from the deep down of your heart in a good way. And advice I am giving you is as if it was mine. It's as if you are mine. It's as if I'm the one that thing is happening to. That's the reason why I'm giving you that correct, authentic advice. And I stand corrected in the presence of anybody, be it the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the Chancellors, the Home Secretary, the stakeholders of Corridor of Power. I can reiterate my advice anytime. When I give advice, I can reiterate it when I'm sleeping. Anytime you wake me up, I don't beat around the bush. I go straight to the point. I cannot love you guys less. Tokunbo Olagbaye is my name. With great humility, I love you guys. Bye for now.